Phil, during your service, career at the services, you may have interacted with a lot of people who need to be de-radicalized, who were earlier radicalized. So I'm genuinely curious as to what it takes to radicalize somebody so innocent. These are essentially civilians who probably consume content through different means and are radicalized using different, cunning methods by these extremist organizations. So can you share some of your experiences?
Sure. So just sorry to do this. This is my very, very first book from 2015, The Threat from Within. I studied radicalization to violence for the better part of 15 years at the security service, looking at the cases we were investigating, looking for commonalities and differences. And we found that, there wasn't any prototype. There isn't any one special personality that becomes radicalized. What is consistent are the things they do and say once they become radicalized, especially from an Islamist perspective. There's certain books they read, there's certain websites they visit, there's certain things they say, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody gets there on their own individual way. The problem is that most people who become radicalized don't become violently radicalized. And that's a big difference. As somebody said the other day, it's not illegal to be a misogynist. It's illegal to become a violent misogynist if you take your misogyny and you start killing women because you don't like them. It's the same with Islamist extremism. There's all kinds of Islamist extremists that aren't violent in nature. And that's not against the law in Canada. I'm sure it's not against the law in India. Once you've committed to violence, though, that's when it becomes a problem. That's why the security services and law enforcement try to investigate you before you can kill people rather than afterwards. Right. The challenge then becomes if you've been arrested, you've been put on trial, you've been found guilty, you've been incarcerated, now what? And a lot of people talk about de-radicalization as if it's some kind of a reversal of the radicalization process. Yeah. I'm a skeptic for the simple reason that it's impossible to tell. Okay. And somebody may say, I no longer believe in the ideology. I was tricked. Right. I've realized it was the wrong thing to do. And I no longer am interested in that. But the problem is, how do you tell? I mean, people lie all the time. As I used to joke, if you go into any prison, whether it's in India or Canada, and you ask the inmates, how many of you are guilty? The answer is 0. Nobody's guilty. They're all tricked by the police or by the state. So how do you actually know that someone's become de-radicalized? There's also a distinction between de-radicalization and disengagement. And what that means is somebody who is disengaged may hold to the exact same ideology as they did before. They've just chosen to no longer act violently in the name of that ideology. So disengagement is better than nothing. But if you disengage but still hold to the radical ideology, there's a chance you can re-engage at some point and become a terrorist. It's a very complicated area. A lot of people make claims that I don't think are justified based on the data that I've seen, but it seems to be something that we can de-radicalize a whole population, and I don't think we can.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.